people in our audience this morning? Awesome. So do you guys know what 1 million, young man in the back, no clowning around. We have a little video to share with you this morning about what 1 million cups is, what we do here, why we love having you here, and the benefits of partaking both from the audience and being in the spotlight. Young man, if you could hit the video for us, please.
Cups is a weekly educational program developed by the Kaufman Foundation. It's a place where entrepreneurs can come and connect with the community. There's a real kind of vibe or a real energy here that's about supporting entrepreneurs. We have two presenters each week, two entrepreneurs. They come and tell about their journey. They each have about 6 minutes to present. You're telling people what you're up to, and you're essentially getting feedback from them. There's about 15 to 20 minutes of Q&A. All the questions that they asked us really got us thinking about new ways to think about our business. It was just able to get feedback from the rest of the community. So over the years, we've added more cities, there's a great energy here to see what's happening across the country. Last question for you, what can we as a community do for you?
So what can we as a community do to help you question is what really coalesces the community around every single presenter.
When somebody applies to present to 1 million cups, they're instructed to watch a series of videos through the Kaufman County School website. It's invaluable information to someone who is founding a startup. I felt better prepared, I felt more confident, and I think a little more focused than I would have been otherwise. And I'm not watching videos of founders, it was a great way to prepare. I really like that education with 1 million cups because it does create that open forum. You can hear great ideas that will help you start thinking even more about what you want to do with your business. What I've learned from other entrepreneurs is very, very valuable. The cool thing about 1 million cups is you're amongst other people like yourself. Just hearing someone talk about their startup, it just would magically think, oh, there's other people out there like myself. Sitting with other people that have ideas too, it helps me believe that, you know what, my idea is worth something, is worth this, is worth going after it, even if it looks like a challenge, I can still go out and try to do it.
Fantastic. So we welcome you here this morning. Thank you very much for attending. I believe we're in 180 locations across the country and growing. We've got members of our own planning committee here that I'm very proud to serve on. We've got Raja over there. We've got my friend Pete in the back hiding. We've got Tony up here. If I've missed anybody that I can't see right now, I apologize. But we're very happy to do that. For those of you that are here for the first time, Ms. Donut Envy, thank you very much. You're going to need more time in the gym for me. We're going to give you an opportunity to introduce yourselves later on. As my very good friend Pete in the back there likes to say, we love first timers. What we don't like are one-timers. This is a participation group, and we love to have your continued participation in that. So very much to that. We've got a unique situation here where we've got live people here in this audience. We've got people on Zoom. Sometimes we have people at another campus in an audience. So we are very unique here in the Lehigh Valley to be able to offer all those opportunities for folks to participate. I'm glad to see all your smiling faces here in the audience. For those of you on Zoom, if we can see more of your smiling faces, that would be fantastic too. We'd love that. Any questions here at all? We're going to get to this. We're going to have a wonderful speaker. She's going to present on what she does and her challenges. Then we're going to have time to ask her questions, to learn more about what she's doing, give her feedback, and then we'll rock and roll out of here. So, without further ado, I have the unique pleasure of introducing someone that's got an incredible business in around here that I never knew kind of existed. In as such, and that there was a business for it. It's called Tumbletails Farm, and Miss Gail Hunsberger.
Good morning, everyone. You're all right if I take this out and walk around because I'm All right, perfect. So basically, let me introduce myself first. My name is Gail Hunsberger, and my current career and blending into where I'm going with the Tumbletails Farm is I'm actually a medevac nurse. I have been flying and doing critical care transport and medevac nursing for 15 years, and I've been an actual nurse for 30 years. In that business, we see a lot of things that nobody else should. I don't pray anyone else gets to see that. And I've also been in it long enough to know that we came from an attitude of if you can't handle it, get out. And in that atmosphere, it doesn't work. And as we all know, COVID hit and it took everything to a whole other level on the stress and PTSD that a lot of my coworkers experienced. So on top of being a medevac nurse and working 24-hour shifts, and I also run a nonprofit organization to which came about because of a need that we saw out in the world for treating operational canines who were injured and not having anything idea what to do with that. So I also run a nonprofit organization. But in the midst of everything, in 2017, I was settling down from being divorced and was like finding my ground. And so as any normal person who works 24-hour shifts doing intense care for patients, you buy an abandoned 1800s house and farm because that's what you do. Oh, by the way, it's condemned. You're going to live in a camper and a little log cabin for a year and a half until everything freezes. And then you'll take the mattress that you have in your pod, drag it in the house and sleep amongst all of the chaos while the whole front of the house is missing. So that being said, everybody thought I really had lost my mind at that point in time. And I was like, nope, it hugs me. It hugged me the minute I got there. We went to see it. Literally grass is this high, literally is cars buried in the yard, tractor trailers on the yard. And the electric, if you had thought to turn it on in the house, you probably would have lit the whole place on fire. So now here we are. I have a beautiful, tranquil place for people to come and relearn how to breathe, just like I did there. And in the challenges of working on the farm, I realized how much it was needed and what I wanted to do and how I really wanted to help coworkers and how I wanted to help people. And Tumbletails Farm came into being. It's an animal assisted interaction center. You can come and hang out. We have 3 horses, 4 goats, and 3 dogs. I was going to bring the puppy with me, but he's still training, so he would have been a little hectic today. But I have a lovely bank barn that I'm in the process of trying to restore to make more space for people. We have a log cabin where you can come and sit and just breathe. And sometimes that's all you need. Mom's taking care of autistic kids, moms and dads taking care of Down syndrome, anybody with special needs. They need a place to be able to go to and be just, I just want to breathe. I don't want my laundry calling me. I don't want the dust bunnies calling me. I don't want anything calling at me. I just want to breathe and get back into my body. So that's what we do is I take you out of here. I put you back in your body. The horses allow you to, 1,200 pounds come walking at you. You're going to feel the energy that they have. The problem is we put off a lot of energy we don't actually know. And so in doing that, that horse is going to back away from you. If you're putting off a lot of negative energy, they're going to be like, peace out, don't come near me. And that's what I get to do. I get to work with people on what that energy is that we're putting out there that you're not aware of. And in doing so, it helps you to realize where else in my life do I see that? Where else is the stressors? And we all have stressors. If anybody can raise their hand in here who is not exposed to stress on a daily basis in their lives, please raise your hand. I would love for you to come and mentor at the farm. So, I mean, all of us, all of us have it, right? We're all in the same boat. And I created a Tumbletails Farm and want to get it out there for people. I want people to know that we have a place that's unique. It's outside of therapist center. I'm not a professional therapist. I do nurse coaching. Last year, I got my master's certification in human animal bonds so that I can learn what it's like to work with the animals and with people and help people get bonded to their own animals as well as mine. So what we do is hourly sessions to start off with. Every single person who comes first to the farm gets a free half hour because it works for some and doesn't work for others. So I don't want you paying for something that it doesn't work. But where I'm at right now in the business is getting the word out there to people. So I'm looking for assistance in doing that. The business plan, I'd rather write my thesis to college 10 times over, but I'm getting there. Okay. And what I'm looking for in coming here, the goal for me was to, one, share my story, share what the business is about, get feedback on how do I get a targeted audience when every single person can use it. I'm looking at colleges who are stressed about finals exams. How do I get them involved? How do I get the military and our police and our fire and EMS and healthcare workers? We're the most stubborn people on the face of the earth, to say, I need help with something. How do I get them to come? It's judgment free. Animals don't judge. Animals will listen to your story. Animals will be present with you in whatever fashion you need to be. So that's where I'm at with what I'm looking for and what my needs are. Any feedback y'all can give me, I'm definitely wide open to. Thank you.
Excellent. So we're going to be on our next section of this program. We're going to give Zoom a little bit of time to get their act together here. Question. If you have a question, let Christine know. Put your hand up virtually, or if you want to turn your cameras on, put your hand up for real. I'll try and catch that. We're going to start here in our audience live, and I've got a couple of questions, and we'll come back to Zoom for their questions.
Hi, I'm Brandon. Nice to meet you. So by the way, I like the idea of like the farm, and then you mentioned like disabilities. It reminds me of a little bit. I don't know if you ever heard of Equilibrium. They're up in Nazareth area, Belfast. So it kind of reminds me of that a little bit. But if you're going to include, because I know people say like, oh, it's different markets when you deal with, military or you deal with students, but a way to maybe marry them together as one market could be that just say like, health and wellness for your well-being, that way it's a little bit more of a broader, because for some reason the military and disability seem to be treated as separate markets, but that could be one way of making your image a little bit more broader, is that it's wellness, it's animals, it's being out in nature, it's and that's what I would try to do, and that way it's not as like 100% niche. That could be one way. And then from a marketing standpoint, since I deal with video, is like probably like nice short videos of like you explain like, oh, look at the beautiful horses, they have this nice feeling of happiness, whatever you want to put in. People love animal videos, that they always go viral, so that could be also something that could go along with the business.
Perfect. Thank you.
Hi. I love your concept. Funny enough, my best friend just bought a farm 2 years ago, and they're rehabbing it, and she's got like 20 horses because she loves rescuing them. But her vision long term is similar but a little different than yours. I don't actually know what you do. I understand the farm and I understand animals involved, but I don't understand what you do. Like you said, people get in half an hour for free. So the second they drive through your gate, you start the clock. Like you maybe explaining it to me would, and I looked at your website too, and it doesn't really, it gives a lot of history and descriptions, but there's nothing that's very like,
This is what we do.
what do you do?
So what I do is I greet the people. Okay. So say, let's do example, you come to the farm. So you come to the farm, and my question for you is going to be, where you at today? What's going on? What would you like to work on? So you would tell me what you want to work through. Okay. And from there, we'll either go, if you're just having get out of your own head and you're depressed and you can't move, I'm going to take you towards the goats. We're going to go over to the goats because goats, all they do is make you giggle. Like there's no way to get away from it. They're just going to needle at you. And I'm going to talk to you about your body language and what does it look like and how does it feel and how do the animals feel and what is it like to get back in your body and actually be touching like a breathing animal. And then we would work through further, we'd go over to the log cabin, sit down in the log cabin, talk more. And basically it's coaching. And I would work with you on the coaching component of what you're looking for and what you want to try and resolve in the time frame we're there. And the half hour, I'm a very flexible person, and that's probably going to be one of my things is traditional therapy is like, you walked in my door and here it is. It's not, you can't do that. You definitely can't do that. So there's going to be gaps and there's flexibility into it. And then we would work with the horses, and some people are going to be like, I don't want to go near a horse yet. And that's okay. But basically it's nurse coaching and working with the animals and letting the animals pull out of you more than you're willing to share with me. And that's a big thing that the animals do, because they read you, they read your energy. And so it's all about the energy and what does that look like? It's usually one-on-one. I've been approached by Girl Scout troops. So that environment's slightly different, where it's just teaching about how to care for animals, and the same thing, just expressing what the animal's energy is and what your energy is like, and how, in the troops that wanted to come out, we talked about bullying and what does it look like, and how are you expressing that you're putting somebody down versus accepting who they are. So it's a lot of coaching, a lot of involved conversations, but again, pointing out and utilizing the animals to help see it with our eyes. Does that explain it better? Okay. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. We've got 2 questions here. So we're going to take 2 from our Zoom audience. We're going to start with Jessica and then go to RJ.
Hi. Can you hear me okay? I'm driving. I'm hoping I have good reception.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. So I love the concept. I think it's incredible. But I come from a different perspective than what Brandon was saying. So my husband and I own the Brothers that just do gutters. So I love the idea of a niche, right? Like a niche thing. And I was wondering what's holding you back from making it more niche towards the healthcare professionals that you spoke about in the beginning.
Basically because when a lot of my coworkers have come out to explore it as for their first free half hour, and I'm actually getting negative feedback from them on the, like, this is fabulous and great, and I feel so much better and but you're never going to get healthcare workers to do this. You're never going to get police officers to do this. You're never going to get firefighters. And I'm like, that's not true. And I'm trying to the same breath, it's like, am I going up against a brick wall in trying to pick them as my niche at the moment? And maybe that needs to be a slower process of pulling healthcare workers, police, and fire into it. Does that answer your question?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. I hear that. In the business world, sometimes, I mean, I think there's feedback that's valid, and I think there's feedback that's head trash. So I would say if that's your passion, I would just encourage you to not let other people's head trash get in the way of what you see as something valuable for those that you connect with. So that's just an encouragement to you, because there's lots of people when you're starting a business that are going to tell you all kinds of reasons why something's not going to work. So I would just encourage you to go with your heart and your gut on that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Great. Thanks. RJ.
Yes. Don't believe the people who say never. What I'm going to mention is I think there's some opportunities for collaborations. There's some very similar things going on in the Valley that if you don't know about, you should know about and they should know about you. One is Camel's Hump Farm in the rural area of Bethlehem. Another is Makunji Mountain Herb Farm, which is over here just across the border in Berks up on the mountain. And there is definitely some commonality with what you're doing. The third piece is knowing a number of people in the therapy community, the less formal therapy community, holistic. I think they would tie in very well with what you're doing, and I think they would probably want to make some referrals, and would certainly want to know what you're doing and work with you on that on an informal basis. I think just there are some clients that would probably come to you, some people who would probably come to you. Also, we're here at Stonehenge Gardens, which is up near Tamaqua, and people have a hard time understanding what we're about. But I think being on site and that feeling of connecting with yourself and others is the whole reason why we're there. Maybe a little far, but I know exactly what you're working with. The last thing is, coincidentally, last night I was on a Zoom call with a lady in Kentucky who has horses and is doing some very similar things to what you're doing, and is going through the same path of how do we get, in her case, all of Kentucky and beyond to see what we're doing. And she's primarily working with children and young adults. So yeah, I think we should talk. I should give you a call. I won't. I'll leave my number too on the chat, but I'll try and get in contact with you. Any thoughts on that? It's fine. That's it.
And doing the research, more programs are popping up, and then, like I said, there's these little niches that are just tucked away, and kind of same as me, the advertising component of it. So I don't necessarily know that they exist until I do have a conversation with somebody and they're like, oh, you need to touch base with so-and-so. And that's definitely helpful to me. And I really appreciate you reaching out and sharing that information. These contacts, these are two that I have not heard of before. And so, yeah, I feel that's the commonality is out there, and each of us works with a different group of people and a different way of doing things. So thank you. And I look forward to talking with you.
Yes. Thanks, Gil.
Great. Thank you very much. We've got about 5 people here who've expressed, so we're going to take a couple from here. Zoom audience, if you have more questions, please put your hands up.
Hi, I'm Pam Cantone. I develop social emotional learning curriculum for elementary school. And what Jen and RJ, don't listen. Do not listen to the negativity. That is somebody who is closed off to what you are doing. People are open to it. I also truly believe that instead of fixing the problem, we establish the well-being. And for you to hone in on children instead of fixing an adult who might be closed off to it might be a better direction for you. I heard therapists, counselors, groups, children's groups, parents groups. Parents are desperate right now to help their children be well lifetime. And if we can establish that at an earlier age, we won't have the stress in our lives the way most of us do. So I urge you to tap into the wellness area of holistic groups who believe in what you're doing, because we're out there and think what you're doing is wonderful. And the idea of maybe networking more and more in types of situations like this, you will bump into people who want to pair with you and be affiliates with you and bring their works to you. Would be just a kind of writing on what everybody was saying. I just think what you're doing is absolutely incredible. So.
Well, thank you. One of the things I can share with you is my sister is actually a teacher's assistant, and she works one-on-one with the autistic kids in the mainstream school districts. And one of the things she called the other day, and she's like, I think we got to a group trip coming to you. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is all. And I'm like, okay, so how do I make that work? And how does it, and they're going to bring the mainstream special kids, the autistics and the Downs, and bring them to the farm. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I would love to connect with you. So there's some better guidance on where I should go with it. So perfect. Thank you so much.
Good morning. I'm Mike Lichtenberger. I got a whole bunch of questions, but I'll keep it to maybe just 10 or 12.
Okay.
No, as you're talking about how to monetize this is really about monetizing your advocacy. So part of that is obviously, and you know that you said it, is presence and making yourself available. But as you reach out into niche groups, you know, there's so many out there. Have you had success reaching out to like cancer, because these families want to normalize their kids' experiences, or departments of health and human services with either county, Northampton or Lehigh? There's adult groups for members with developmental disabilities. Again, they need services, they need to normalize. Any success with any of those?
I actually have not reached out in that avenue. One avenue I did reach out is because I am doing critical care transports at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia right now, is talk to them and talked about getting the employees and eventually pulling in the parents as well to give them a break and what it looks like. So I have in a way, but that is a fabulous idea. I'd never thought about going that avenue. Thank you.
Oh, no. So I'm all aboard for what you're doing, except for the horses. We have a love-hate relationship. But I actually wanted to, speaking from someone who actually is in an industry that deals with individuals that are dealing with a lot of PTSD and trauma, as I am the co-founder of a nonprofit that combats human trafficking in the area. I think that what Jessica and everyone was kind of saying, I think if you did something in this space or kind of niched yourself in somewhere with helping people who help people versus just trying to say nurses, doctors, or what have you, you're broadening it enough to where everybody's kind of inclusive. But on the side B, open, because I work with a lot of individuals that are coming in with some serious complex trauma, and we know animals in therapy such as that assist in that healing process or in that coping process. And so would you ever consider putting some kind of a package together, because there is a whole survivor community right here in the Lehigh Valley and the surrounding area, and to coming and just experiencing that we've seen with some of our clients, because one of the individuals that has a farm, and her farm does strawberry picking and during the summer and all that stuff. And we've seen our clients go there and actually have a good time and get out of their own heads, as you will, during that time period of doing something physical, but why also having some sort of physical gratification at the end. Mm-hmm. So what I consider is possibly going with that, helping those who help others, and then kind of niching out to the specific subgroups might be in your better interest.
I love that idea. I think you totally summed up it, and that covers the EMS, it covers the healthcare providers, covers parents, covers everybody. Because in my long-term picture is having space for anybody and everybody to come, because again, we all have our story, we've all had something happen to us, and to which extreme it is, it doesn't matter. We have our story and we all need somewhere to be able to process it. So I really love that idea. And yes, I would definitely want to connect in regards to the human trafficking, and even the people who, again, take care of those people who, these women that you're saving, you guys all need care too. Everybody, all of you are helping other people and helping. And I love that, helping the helpers who are helping others. It just really pulls it all together. Thank you. I only want to connect. Thank you.
So Gail, you seem to be talking about several different customer groups. You got your parents of autistic children, you got your caregivers who give care. Now you've got another group. When you're talking to your customers, what struck me is when you said you're talking to people who are saying police and nurses are not going to come here. Are you asking the police why they wouldn't come there and why they would come there? And ask questions of them. And if they say, I don't have time, what would be my time? How would I get you here? What would interest you in coming here? I think you just need to be asking customers, potential customers, instead of someone like me. I'm not a caregiver. I don't have that kind of stress. But if you ask a police officer or a critical care nurse that you come in contact with all the time, what is it that would draw you there?
Thank you. I do. I have had nurses and physicians and even my own therapist and doctors. I'm like, okay, what is it that would, well, oh, it's a great idea and and then it just drops. But I think, yeah, have that hard conversation and be like, what is it that would bring you here, people here? Okay.
The Mom Test is a book for you. You want to read this book, I'll lend it to you. The Mom Test is, don't ask your friends. Pam's going to tell me my idea is great. All right. Because she likes me. You want to ask people who are going to give you those heartfelt answers, those actual answers you need. Just keep plugging away at the answer.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
I'm just gonna, no, I'm not gonna talk about myself. But coming from the healthcare profession, from my point of view, I remember days coming home so incredibly stressed out and I would drive by a farm and the thing I wanted to do was go in and just brush the horses or clean up the stalls or do whatever. That is the work portion of it was what I wanted to do. It wasn't necessarily just kind of playing with the animals or going out and riding them or just sitting in their space. I wanted to afterwards.
And that is part of the therapy. We brush and we touch and I'm not articulating that.
She just
enough.
volunteered, by the way.
I know.
That's what I heard.
Stalls are getting cleaned this afternoon around noon. So stalls are getting cleaned at noon. Feel free to come on over. The address will be on there. Let's go check that out.
I just wanted to clarify a couple
There
of
you are.
things. One, are you a 501c3? I mean, are you a charitable organization or?
I am not. I did sign it up as a LLC for-profit organization.
Okay. So you're looking for profit now. Do you have any type of, therapist certificates? I mean, where you could actually charge, let's say, healthcare for some of these services that you provide?
I do not. And that's where I've connected with other therapists to market out there to be like, bring your clients here, bring them out of the office and have something different because they can do the billing to your insurance company and everything where I cannot do that because I am not a licensed therapist in the state of Pennsylvania.
You have that capability to do that with the provider. Then,
if a provider, right.
And then they'll reimburse you for whatever your service.
Right. I would rent the service.
Okay. So you're looking mainly to, your revenue generation then, is that right? Is that what your concern is so that you can expand this out? And if you want to do philanthropic things such as, the various groups that have been mentioned and so forth, veterans. So
that's my game plan. Yep.
Okay.
I call of my nursing career is like, this is where I want to go next, is taking it to the farm and presenting on the, having patients, AKA clients, come to the farm and help them in a whole different. I am currently.
Is the goal, I'm just saying, since you are a corporation, I mean, you're looking, profit from this, or is it more of a combination of doing, philanthropic work and, making money, or, what's your goal there?
Both.
Okay. Okay. All right. No.
One, and that's where I'll be honest, it's a struggle because I just want to help people and I want to care for people and I'm compassionate about it. But in the same token, I also have to keep a roof over my head and have to pay for the animals and have to pay, my mortgage.
Right.
So that's kind of where I am. And that's you bringing it to the forefront for me and being like, you got to really,
No,
I need
that's
to
good,
look. And that's what it's about. This is awesome for it. And again, that's definitely one of my struggles, is because I would do it for free for every single person just to see people get out of their heads and get in their bodies. But again, I do need to.
Right. Just some quick thoughts in terms of revenue. Certainly if you have the providers that can bill for your services, you know what I mean? And like that, absolutely continue. Because I've been working in this, I've been trying to work the last 6 months. I've been in medical for 35 years. And I've been trying to work in this wellness space, and to get, insurance companies to reimburse for anything, you know what I mean? It's almost impossible. So if you have that funding, I'm just saying, if you have that funding mechanism, certainly that would be one way to go. And I'm not quite sure about, if you can apply for grants and stuff like that as well, so that you could do more of the charitable work. That may be another way to, kind of look at things. And then self-pay, that's the big thing in wellness right now is, if you want these, which I think are what you're trying to provide, are great. People got to pay for it out of the pocket, you know what I mean? So those are some things, just some thoughts in terms of that.
Thank you.
Do we have any questions on Zoom?
We do.
Okay.
April has asked, it was kind of answered before, asking Gail to explain her certifications in the coaching field and therapy.
So my certifications in the coaching component of it come from the master's certification that I have for social aspects of human animal bonds, as well as a nurse for 30 plus years. I bring the experience of all the training that I've had over the years. So that's where my certifications come from. I do have alphabet soup after my nursing, after my name for nursing. And I do have a lot, again, of experience in continuing education. Continuing education is a part-time job when it comes to being a medevac nurse. And so that's where my certification comes from.
Right. And then the next one, I will let Chris Briggs unmute and he can ask because his goes a little bit further. Chris?
Hi, sell the problem, not the solution. The point where people, in my opinion, when people make a decision about where they're going to buy is an emotional state. I'm thinking about my life. I'm having problems. I'm wondering what's going on. Where is the solution to my problem? I'm looking for an empathetic voice that's going to talk to me about the ways that I'm struggling. And so a testimonial would be perfect. I'd love to just know more about the ways that, because I'm going to have to invest money and time in getting myself out there and participating in this. And that's a cost to me physically and emotionally. And I need to overcome that inertia in a way that I'm going to know that I'm going to get something better than what it's going to cost me. And so sell the problem, not the solution.
That one's going to work in my head for a while. I like that. And I can see the end picture. A client that I did have come out, it was exactly like that. She came with not being able to feel. She said, I can touch this and I don't know what it feels like. I can be here and I can't feel the wind blowing on my face. I can be here and not see the horses. And by the time she left, she was hugging the horse and she took deep breaths in and out. And Libby turned her head and hugged her. And with that, the tears started coming down. And that is exactly what you're talking about, is share what the experience is for my clients, not what I envision it being, but what it really is for them. That's definitely a big passion for me. And you've left me speechless a little bit. So thank you. It is on the website. I actually put it on there. The woman's like, please put this out there and share it. And it was, I mean, I started bawling right along with her. And she's like, I haven't cried. I haven't breathed. I haven't felt in 3 months, because she'd been attacked in her own apartment. And she's like, my apartment was safe. She's like, and now I didn't have a safe place. And that's what it is. It's creating a safe place in a judgment-free zone.
Hi, I'm Malario. And on the conversations concerning like getting people who are helping others in, you were saying about like hour sessions. Maybe you want to try exploring like a weekend getaway, or like a week getaway. Like they might not be able to give an hour consistently, but they might be able to swing like a day or two off. So you might be able to do something more like that as special events to try and get people in. And then you might get hour sessions after that of once they get
established.
Yeah, once they get the established, or they get the experience that they want it more. It's like not an extended trial, but because you would still be getting money for the retreat. And then like expanding on that idea too, with retreats, a lot of churches also do retreats for caregivers and stuff like that. So maybe you want to start reaching out to some of the other churches. Like I know the church that I attend, they have a large medical community within them. So Cedar Crest Bible Fellowship, you could probably try reaching out to them, and they do retreats for various things. So you might be able to find like the Council of Churches in the Valley. And you might be able to find other churches that are interested in doing retreats. And then they might also be able to connect you with some of these other groups that you're looking for. And then you were saying about like police officers, fire, and that kind of stuff. Have you tried connecting with like the fraternal orders that care for these people on a regular basis? So maybe you could get a retreat through them. Excuse me. So lots of ideas, lots of things to explore. You just have to decide what you want to do and what works.
Thank you. And yes, I have reached out. I've done it more on a one-on-one because of, sounds terrible, because of running the streets in this area. And I used to do 911 on the ambulances in this area. So I've done a lot of one-on-one to it, but like you said, that's asking my friends for their input versus stepping out and going to others. So I definitely will. I have those connections. I just haven't used them yet. So perfect.
Tony Fernandez. I conduct outreach primarily here on the South Side. Last November, it's not a suggestion, just thoughts. This campus collects monies to give to Donegan food gift cards. When I dropped off the food gift cards, the principal said, "You have no idea what these children have been through COVID. They have seen increased violence in their homes. Some of them have been evicted, and others have been abused." And she said, "We're not ready for this onslaught." And it's still kind of going on with these children. I'd love to get a flyer so that I can go around and paper this whole area with your information.
I can do that.
Great. We've got time for 2 more, unfortunately. Is there anything out of Zoom? Okay, we're gonna come to this audience.
Very good presentation. I'm sad there's no puppy here, but I'm gonna get over it. I was thinking the same thing as Ilario. If you did a retreat, so if someone comes to you, whatever they're dealing with, like an hour or two might not be enough to get that through. So I don't know if you live in the log cabin or if not, like you could Airbnb that all day and just be there on the farm. So it could be part of the retreat. Like, hey, come see my animals. If you want to talk, I'm present. If you have something you need to unload and you need the help, all seriousness. Also, if you will let teenagers that need to learn work ethic just get dropped off and help with the horses and the animals, I will pay you all day. I'm not kidding, because there's some, like, I grew up on a farm. I don't have a farm anymore that I could teach my kid, like, hey, you want to know what hard work is? Put some boots on. But if you open up, like, I don't know, remember when like Paris Hilton went to a farm and like learned how to really work? Like, I think that would be great. So
I'm actually going next Tuesday to the Bucks County Tech School, and I'm trying to connect with the vet techs at all the colleges to get them to be able to come out and have some hands-on experience and help with the animals and help with the farm as well. But yeah, I did definitely any help. I'm there by myself. So yes, any help is wonderful.
All right. So I am Nicole, and I have Tinkerin, which is a creative reuse, and a creative wellness business. I am more of a wellness practitioner. I have a background in occupational therapy, worked in acute care mental health for 18 years. So I definitely get that. And so with that being said, I also did therapy dogs, and the transformation on the days that the dog come in for not just the patients, but the staff was incredible. And my thought to you is, rather than asking them to come to you, is there something that you could bring to them? And the other thing is even talking not just to the individual people, because you're never going to get, and that was one of the things I fought hard for, is like, let's do something together. They're not going to do it, but at least not in my department at the time. But if you talk to the manager or talk to the heads of the departments, they want to do something for their teams. And so telling them or bringing it to them, what part of that can you bring to them? Can bring them a goat or two, or can you set something up outside, and then bring it to so busy that, with their own life, that they live in the hospital, they go home, they do what they do. But if you can catch them somewhere in between to get that experience, that might be just enough to get them to that next level. As you were mentioning about students and work ethic, looking for hubs for people, for the kids to come and work. And so reaching out to the Allentown School District, I don't know how far out you are from Allentown School District, but for before after school programs, connecting with them, they may even be able to pay you to have these kids coming out, being a part of their after school hubs. So those were my two things.
Thank you.
Great, fabulous feedback and participation today. We really appreciate this. In the beginning, thank you very much. In the beginning of our morning. Oh. It is in honor and tradition here at 1 Million Cups to reward the person who has put themselves here in the spotlight. So we'd like to give you this cup in commemoration of that. We'd also like to invite you back, keep coming back, learn from our audience, give your feedback to the next groups of presenters that are here too, because it's all beneficial. All right. Jeez, man. All right, so in the beginning of this morning, I had said that we're going to take a little bit of brief bit for those of you that are new here today to introduce yourselves. So in about 15 seconds, would everyone that's new here put their hand up? Holy craps. And if you could take 15 seconds and quickly introduce yourselves, name, rank, and serial number, and then we'll move on.
Hi, good morning. Gary Maffo. I'm in production management. I met up with Pete Renke, and he told me there's a good group I should come to. So that's why I'm here.
Great, thank you very much. Young man, you got a microphone?
I'm Nathan Martin. I'm a financial advisor in the Allentown area. I was a former Marine, moved here recently. So looking for any business, anybody I can help with.
I'm standing just so everybody can see me. I'm Amy Ensinger. I helped to run a networking group in the area called Lehigh Valley Women Do Business. Some of my cool girls are over here, and I had to come and see what they've been chatting about for a little while. I am an independent consultant with Pure Romance. For the last 11 years, I've been helping women understand their bodies, how they work, why they don't, and helping them having the intimate lives that they desire and deserve.
Hello, I'm Pat McGowan. I work with Ryan Amato Painting in Epoxy. We're a full-service painting company. We specialize in epoxy floors and kitchen cabinet painting. We can help basically anybody at any time with any painting services you need.
Thank you.
Oh, my name is Kate. I am with Donut Envy, which is a mobile interactive donut trailer. So there's been a lot of heavy stuff this morning, but I only talk about donuts. We make hot, fresh mini donuts while you watch, and fresh squeezed juices. So we're excited to be here.
And okay, I can't compete with donuts. So I'm Peggy King. I'm with New Vitae Wellness and Recovery. We treat veterans, individuals with traumatic brain injury, co-occurring diagnoses. Our veterans today are doing equine therapy, and we go out to farms to do therapeutic work. So I need your information, like really need it. And I also need, I need dogs at our facility. So if you're willing to do that, we will pay you. And just maybe you want to consider creating a foundation part of your business to do some of your work.
Awesome. Any other newbies in the audience? Going once, going to sold. Anybody here in the audience for the 10th or more time that has not received one of those lovely orange tumblers? Ooh, Havana. No takers. How do I refuse an orange tumbler? All right, we got to wait till next week. All right, now it's that magical time for announcements. Again, we're running close to the end of time, so we want to keep this as brief as possible. Just let us know about your event, the major details, when, where, how much, and who we have to bring.
We will be holding our next Launchbox Ladies on Thursday, October 19th from 11:30 to 1 on the Penn State Lehigh Valley campus in Center Valley. We will have one of our students, our professors, the Chief Deputy District Attorney for Lehigh County, Bethlehem Police Department, and the Chief Public Defender. We are talking about entrepreneurship spirit in the criminal justice system.
Awesome. So everybody behave that day.
Go wild and Allentown, I'll be there. Sorry, Pam Bartlett. So I am doing a workshop, the Small Business Development Center, on the basics of franchising on October 18th in Emmaus at the Borough Hall at noon. Donut Envy is a franchise, by the way. And then December 7th, I will be doing a workshop for SCORE here on franchising your business.
Jessica, what is your announcement?
Hi. So Brothers That Just Do Gutters at our Allentown address. You could find the event on Facebook as well, but we're doing a Harvest Market Community Day event that includes touch a truck, music, vendors, free face painting, food trucks, things like that. We are still looking for a few more quote unquote vendors, but like even if you just want to set up a little booth for your business, please reach out to me. It's Jessie, Jessi at brothersgutters.com. Or just bring the family out. It's going to be a fun time on October 14th from 12 to 4.
Cool. Patrick Clancy, Focal Point Business Coaching. Today's October 4th,
And it's a great day for two reasons. The first reason is today's the day Brian Tracy speaks for free on procrastination and productivity at 2:00 online. I'll give you the details if you want to join us. The second reason is today's the last time I'm going to tell you that Brian Tracy is speaking for free at 2:00 on Eat That Frog. Go, guys.
Great. Thank you.
Well, speaking of October dates, yesterday was Mean Girls Day. If you didn't celebrate, see most of, oh yeah, you have to be a certain age to know what that meant, that reference. Secondly, well, we're back at it again November 1st. So if you didn't make our May LinkedIn master's training, we are going to be back at it on November 1st. This time we're going to try to do something a little differently, as we're going to be doing one in the evening hours versus during the day. So those who couldn't make it the last time because of work schedules or business schedules, we're trying to make an accommodation. However, you have to, in order to get the guaranteed seat, you're going to be part of our intersecting list. So our special people, because we haven't started the marketing officially online. We barely did a little bit of a drip, but we are going to be sending out text messages and letting everyone know. It was originally supposed to be today, but between some things with myself and our co-facilitator having the vid come after her, we just had to postpone it out. So looking forward to seeing those who can make it and those who did not, who made the last time. Thank you again in advance. And we're going to be doing part B to that training in December. So keep on the lookout.
Friends of Pete is looking for a new partner, since Darnell didn't even mention Friends of Pete. So anybody that wants to join us, since I have nowhere to be, I'm going to have about 15 announcements. So no, I'm kidding. We are partnering with Friends of Pete is partnering with Dave Rabinold and Valley Networking on the Thursday, the 19th at the Delta Hotel out in Upper Macungie. Darnell and I and Friends of Pete are partnering with the Lehigh Valley Traffic Club, which is all the logistics people, for a happy hour the 26th, October 26th from 4 to 7 at Bozer Geist, which is at the Simone Silk Mill over in Easton. And then we're doing a lunch and learn on the 18th, Wednesday the 18th, at the Allentown Housing Authority at Gross Towers. If anybody is or knows of real estate brokers, landlords, or housing advocates, it's going to be kind of a special, interesting program. So thanks for that. And then the last thing is, all the new people who are here for their first time, which we'd love to see, make sure you give me your card before you leave so we can add you both to the 1 Million Cups list and the Friends of Pete list. So thank you.
I would not be doing my social media duty if I did not let everyone know that today FEMA and the FCC are conducting a test at 2:20 p.m. It is going to go to all cell phones, radios, and televisions. So even if your phone is on silent, your phone's going to go off. You're going to get a buzz. So no one panic at 2:20 today.
Great. Oh, Tony's got.
Okay, this is really far ahead, but I want you to really think about this. October 29th, NCC Fowler will be at the City of Bethlehem Halloween Parade. The theme is mummies. If you haven't been on a parade, really think about joining us. If you have been, you know how much fun it is, and think how cute the children will be on the sidewalks with their costumes. So October 29th, if you're interested, just let me know so I can put you down, and you got to look like a mummy.
One more announcement that we got to make next week for 1 Million Cups. Please do not come to this room. We will not be here. We will be upstairs in room 605. That's why it's written on the board up there. So you can all take it down, snapshot it, remember it, put it in your calendar. We will not be in this room next week. We will be in room 605. I did because I wanted you to hear the announcement. Thank you all for being here. If I forgot something, I apologize. If we didn't get to your questions, Gail is still here. Go meet her, go talk to her, go present her ideas, grab her card, go help her muck the stalls. Have a wonderful Wednesday.